Shawty got me in the mood. Welcome to Views of a Flick. I'm Will.I.am Defoe, a.k.a. Big Willie Style. Got Sid in the building.
What's happening?
Got Ron Jerobi in the building.
You already know we in the building.
And we're here to talk about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, The Apostate.
Chapter 17.
Yeah, Chapter 17. They finally put the name of the episode out, The Apostate.
The prostate.
Why was they they wasn't putting it out at first or something?
No, for some reason, Mandalorian, they always, like when the episode first dropped, it only say chapter whatever. And then later on, they put the title on there. But, hey, we got back with Mando. With,
Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu. Baby Yoda. Fuck Grogu. Fuck that name. And I will say, if you love Star Wars, I don't see how you don't like this shit. Or how you don't love this, actually. Because to me, it seemed like every season, it gets like more and more Star Wars-y. And I'm sure that's probably because like every season they get more popular and Disney be like, hey, let's put more money behind it. So I think this episode started off great. Ron hasn't watched the episode,
Right.
So I don't know how.
We're not gonna give
Y'all can talk about it. I'm gonna watch it regardless.
We're not gonna give too many spoilers away.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode started off
9 times out of 10,
great.
I'm not gonna remember the spoilers.
I always got to throw this out there. Visually, this episode is magnificent.
Man.
Magnificent. So, and then it was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a great start to the season. I will say I didn't like how short the episode was.
Right.
I will say that. If it was one thing,
30 minutes.
yeah, it's 38 minutes, but you know how Disney do with their credits. But I will say I don't like that these episodes are so short.
Can I put an appreciation out for this real quick? I appreciate the story art at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, because I know that takes some time. Like you say, yeah. You got to appreciate something like that.
They
And
got
all
me
of it
with the
look
story
good.
art of the first season. I stopped watching that. It looked good, but I'm gonna wait till the lookbook come out or something. I can just look at all of it at once.
You got the good theme music. Oh, they put the lookbooks out like after every season.
Oh well. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the good theme music going. Got the good pictures up. Yeah, I like it. I straight do watch the credits all the way through. Huh?
Episode was Mandalorian heavy.
Yeah. Oh
Heavy.
yeah. Oh yeah. It started off with some action. It started off with some good action. I thought they was gonna do something messed up, but luckily that they didn't. Well, it's not really a spoiler. I thought they was gonna kill the little boy.
Oh yeah, that just got his helmet.
I thought the alley, whatever it was.
They not on Mandalore, but it started off with a bunch of them.
Yeah, it was like they was igniting one or knighting one. One of them, I don't know what they call it.
Grogu, did he get any better with the Force?
Man, actually, to be honest with you, Grogu is in every scene Mando is in, but he's in the background.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think this story is gonna be centered on Grogu so much since we got a lot of them before.
The skill could be utilized though. So shit.
Not with this. I don't see the Force. To be honest with you, I don't see the Force playing a big part in this season. If they're gonna continue to go where they're going,
pull his weight, man. I've been protecting.
Oh, he
for
will
3
pull his
seasons
weight.
now.
Because
You got to do something.
Because to me, to answer your question, I will say it seemed like.
Well, he might be older than 50 now.
It seemed like Baby Yoda is comfortable with the Force. It seemed like he's doing shit with the Force with ease that he would have to do all this shit for before. Yeah. Before it seemed like he doing shit with ease now.
Okay,
but
so he got better then.
Yeah, I will say he I do want to see him, like, I ain't gonna say pull
It's
his
an
weight.
Easter egg in here.
He should have kept his lightsaber.
It's an Easter egg in here. You didn't watch Rebels, did you? You watched Rebels. It's an Easter egg in here.
What?
Well, Ezra?
Not
really.
Yeah and no. Remember the creatures that Ezra left with at the end of Rebels? Them big giant space creatures?
I know he left with Thrawn.
That attack the Star Destroyer.
Oh, they want yeah.
And they can jump to hyperspeed.
Yeah.
When they was going into when they was in hyperspace, whatever it's called, Grogu was in the back looking, and he can look through the, you know what I'm saying, the waves or whatever it is, and you can see the creatures flying by.
I was sure wondering, like, what the fuck are those?
Yeah.
I thought someone was about to reach in there and, like, I thought he was about to get some action.
It's one of those things to where it's an Easter egg, but if you haven't seen the Rebels, you have no clue what it is.
I sure didn't.
But the thing is, it's a lot of media that's doing it now. Where if you didn't watch this, you don't understand what this is.
Yeah.
So.
And which I don't mind that. I don't mind it. And I guess if it's gonna be something like that,
I was going to change the subject, but yeah, talk about that off camera. But yeah, this was a cool episode, man. Yeah. I liked it. I like the narrative of it. I like where they going with it. I don't think it's going. I mean, of course, I don't think it's going. Things going to play out the way that they setting up at the beginning. I don't think it's going to play out their way.
Nah.
Because basically, he took his helmet off. A certain part of the Mandalorians, like, you're not Mandalorian because you took your helmet off.
Right.
Bo-Katan, them like, shit, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You listening to them old people, the ones that destroyed us anyway. So I think it's going to kind of be in the middle somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
And he do got the dark saber. So
he does have the right to rule them anyway.
Yeah. He could change the rules if he want to. I mean, technically he could probably, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like that's what this, I ain't gonna say what the whole season gonna be about, but it's gonna be more about him and his Mandalorian ways and trying to get back in and figuring all that out. And like you said, I don't think it's gonna be too much on Grogu, too much on Baby Yoda. I think his journey was more of season 2, and it's was.
I'm still gonna be upset.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
He's just gonna be a body.
Yeah, I think he gonna do something. I don't think he gonna play the background like he did this episode the whole time.
But see, I like that role for him because the thing is, and we got so much Star Wars coming out. Like, we got Ahsoka coming out. We have our opportunities to showcase the Force, to showcase all that. Let us get a little something that, kind of push the Force to the, not get rid of it, but
that ain't
push
the
to the
Star
side.
Wars I want, so. In no circumstance.
I just want him to be like a real nigga. That's all I want. And
to be honest, I like the Force part of Star Wars too, but I think leaning so heavy on it in current products is what's kind of bringing it down.
Never.
Because it's not.
It ain't even a lot. It ain't been a lot of Force stuff.
The last trilogy was super Force heavy.
I'm talking about the Mandalorian. I'm not talking about the trilogy.
Yeah, I'm saying
it should be.
But I'm saying I'm thinking that's what's kind of bringing Star Wars down as a whole, because their main center is on the Force.
I disagree.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
I think so.
But
I just think it's bad storytelling.
Because they always trying to talk about the Force. It's so much other stuff to talk about the Force. Granted, I'm not saying get rid of the Force. We can go back to Rogue One. We had some Force in there with Vader. But
with old boy.
Huh?
And with old boy.
But the movie was
the Asian dude that was blind.
But the movie was an action military style movie, which had Force elements in it here and there, and it worked. Like I said, you have so much Force, so much Star Wars stuff that's force driven that it starts to take away from it, in my opinion.
This not force driven. The Mandalorian ain't never been force driven.
Last season was force driven. We had
one episode.
We had Ahsoka. We had Luke. You got Grogu.
Last
season
season wasn't force
That
driven.
ain't force
I
driven.
wouldn't say it was force driven.
All right.
Luke, we barely even seen him use his force.
But what I'm saying is we're talking about the Mandalorian, right? And we're talking about the Force.
And he got a dark saber.
That's because we just brought up. You just brought up the force.
Without the dark saber,
And I'm
it
saying,
would be no use for the dark saber without the force.
What I'm saying is
All he did with the force with this was pick up some candy.
right, and I that's the part I liked.
See, I don't like that.
You
I don't want Grogu to be a kid with the force. I want him to be a real nigga.
I mean, he is a kid though. So.
Exactly. I don't want him to be. That's what I don't like about him. Is that doing all that shit.
All right,
Like acting like a straight baby.
I'm just
I
saying.
wouldn't care about that if he was cutting niggas in half.
Like
saying,
that's what I'm saying, because it's a part in here. I'm like, nigga, you using the force to get candy, nigga, use the force now.
It's played out. It's getting played out.
Then why even put him on Earth? Why even make him a force sensitive person? Like,
Because that's what they lean heavily on. But if you look at the essence of Star Wars, the Force was an element of Star Wars, but it was not the whole of Star Wars.
See, I don't think that's what it is. I think Grogu or Baby Yoda is their way of having like a
Relate to kids.
yeah, like
mean,
have
of course,
not a
that-
robot, but
yeah.
like have a something
Yeah.
cuddly right there with him all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely why he in there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, throughout the years watching Star Wars, and I'm not trying to compare trilogies. I'm just saying, I'm not saying what's good or bad. I'm just saying through the progression of Star Wars movies and shows and everything, everything is force driven. You know what I'm saying? We got the Acolyte coming out.
that's the cool stuff about Star Wars.
Not always. The thing
Ain't
is,
nothing in Star Wars to me.
but here's the
cooler than the Force.
But here's the thing. You got a whole trilogy, sequel trilogy, right? Regardless of what you think about the sequel trilogy, it was basically all about the Force. Everything else was secondary. You have Rogue One that put everything else in the forefront and made the Force secondary.
Yeah.
If people voted on which one of them were best, the people would vote on Rogue One.
That's because it was a better movie.
And that's what I'm
It
saying.
wasn't because it didn't have no Force.
But what I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying. Them using the Force so much is taking away the mystique about it. When you using the Force, when you using the Force every movie, it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna be like, You know what I'm saying? Save it for a
Not
spectacle.
to me.
That's what people are afraid about them doing with Vader.
When Luke showed up, it was a magical moment, right? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Every Star Wars fan, loved it.
Yeah.
But had we been getting stuff like that the whole season or the last two seasons, it'd have just been like, it wouldn't have had the same impact. I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be force heavy all the time.
I think
I ain't asking for
it was
Force
Luke.
heavy. I just asked for more Force from Grogu. When they get into the shit,
And-
you're going to have to do something.
Right, and that's what
I'm
I was
sorry.
saying. And that's what I was saying. To me, I really would have liked for them, which they can't do it because of merchandising. But I would have liked them to left Grogu with Luke. I would have.
Nah, man, you gotta have Grogu, man. You gotta have.
I wouldn't
Baby
have cared
Yoda,
about
man.
that
He was
either
a
as
sidekick,
long
man.
as the outcome of everything would have came back around. Like, yeah, leave him with Luke, but we're going to see them more, right?
See them more for what?
Because that's the element of Star Wars I like.
But this is the Mandalorian. That's what
it
I'm
don't
saying.
matter. He got the dark saber.
You see what I'm saying?
Do you know why the dark saber was created?
This the Mandalorian.
The
You
dark
see what I'm
saber-
saying?
Yeah,
What do that
true.
mean, though? It's Star Wars.
This is
the dark saber was created to combat Jedi.
by one Mandalorian.
It don't matter,
You've
but that's why
had-
it was created.
But you've had millions of Mandalorians and ain't none of them have been able to use the Force, but that one.
But that don't matter.
Ron.
Why? But we got one to use.
Here's the thing: we're watching the Mandalorian. We're not watching the Jedi Temple.
What does that
We're not
mean?
watching the Sith. I'm
don't
saying
mean nothing.
what I'm saying is the Mandalorian.
He's a bounty hunter. He's gonna run into Jedi. He's gonna always do that.
he's going to run into Jedi. Right. But what
Matter
I'm
of
saying,
fact, the Jedi was the Mandalorian's main enemy.
what I'm saying is, we watching the Mandalorian. What do we keep needing to bring in Jedi and everybody else for when it's supposed to be focused on the
Because
Mandalorian?
the Mandalorians fought Jedi. That was their main
Okay,
rival.
and I'm not saying that they should never beat. I'm not
That's
saying.
all I'm saying.
I'm not saying.
I'm talking about for the Mandalorian.
I'm not.
You act like we talking about a pod racing show or the
No,
the-
I'm talking about the Mandalorian. That's
Yes.
just like, okay, for instance, I'm not even go there. We can still talk about the Mandalorian. We're talking about the Mandalorian. I'm saying, if you bring up a force wielder here or there, okay.
and that's what they've been doing.
But what I'm saying is, you said people would say, "Oh, I would like to see more."
He's
No,
saying
I
the
said-
Jedi shouldn't be a co-star of the Mandalorian. It's pretty much what he's saying.
Who's saying that? We him?
Yeah,
He not a Jedi.
I mean,
a force
yeah,
wielder.
yeah.
Man, I don't even call it.
I mean,
To
he
me,
was trained by Luke. Wouldn't that make him a Jedi?
did he get trained by Luke?
Nah, he ain't no Jedi yet.
Did he get trained?
He has.
thought he got trained.
He has some training.
Man,
Oh, yeah, it was just
like
a
2 or
little
3 days,
A
man.
little bit. It was a little longer than that,
Man.
but the fact is we're
up?
watching the Mandalorian. I'm going in to watch the Mandalorian, and we talking about the Force.
Because that's what I'm watching any Star Wars for.
But
And-
the episode wasn't force driven.
Exactly, and that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the only reason we're talking about the force is because you brought it up. The episode wasn't force driven at all.
No, I was just saying I'm gonna be upset with this season if he don't do more with the Force. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what the conversation came in where I
Right.
said, "This the Mandalorian. Mando supposed to be the hero. We don't need a Force wielder coming in being the hero."
I didn't say he had to be a hero, but he got skills that could be utilized through his journey. It's just fact.
I think it will
Fact,
be
this is
utilized
facts.
because I'm assuming that this is going to end with the Mandalorian War or with the war of some sorts, and I think he will do something during that. But I will, as long as the story good. I don't care how much force they put in there. I don't care if it ain't no force. I don't care if somebody come kidnap Baby Yoda in the next episode and we don't see the nigga again until the last episode. As long as it's good. That's all I care about.
And to me, the reason I said, we need to cut back on the Force, because just with everything else, people want to power scale everything. How strong is this person? How strong is that person? And then we get into this pissing contest on which force wielder the strongest when we supposed to be talking about the Mandalorian. And I feel like when you saturate the market with so many force wielders, we love the Force way more than what we did now. I do. I'm not gonna speak for you. I did. Before we had so many people popping up being force wielders. We went from the Return of the Jedi, Luke and Leia being the only force wielders to it's basically thousands of Jedis out here. Ahsoka's still around. Now, you know what I'm saying? We're picking up more and more force wielders to where it's watering down the original properties. And it doesn't have the same luster that it had before.
But that's the world though.
And
But you enjoyed Rebels. I mean,
and that's why the product
you
is not.
enjoyed all of that.
Hold on. And that's why the product is not as good as it once was.
No, it ain't.
But
It
I'm
was
saying
bad
no.
writing.
But I'm saying no.
And
But you
again, and like I
enjoyed
told
that,
you,
though.
right.
like I told you, you know what I'm saying? What was it? The Last Jedi, the second movie in the trilogy, wasn't a bad movie. It was the time and the place for it. What made it a bad movie? We got a whole show coming out called The Acolytes. We have our spaces, our avenues for force wielders. We got Ahsoka whenever they're supposed to drop. Everything they dropping is force sensitive. We getting the Mandalorian. We got to get that in there too.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to offshoot it with something.
And it is offshoot shot. I feel like it.
Not when you got your co-pilot or your co-star in the
nigga
episode.
don't do nothing but eat. He don't do shit. You acting like he be out here force choking people. Yeah, he force choked. I think maybe one person. But that was on. And then he fainted
Okay,
afterwards.
but hold on.
Season one.
But this conversation started.
Dude fainted afterwards.
The conversation started because we said we enjoyed the episode and the role he played. You said you would be upset if he's in the backdrop the rest of this season.
No, I did not. I said I would be upset if he didn't use more force powers. Said nothing about being in the backdrop.
right.
And when I say he want to see, and I think when Ryan say he want to see him do more, I mean, I think he just want to see him do something more powerful.
No, I want to see him when they get into some shit. I want to see him doing the Force crush when he crushed.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to see him helping Mandalorian instead of being the person that he always got to save.
I don't think Ryan is saying that he wants to see the Force more in the show. I think he just saying that he wants to see him like just do more than picking up some Skittles.
And I don't want them to use Grogu as plot armor. If it's in the shootout, let it be a shootout. Let me get that shootout and see how that's going to play out. I don't need Grogu crushing the cave behind some people or something just to get them out of a jam. I don't need that in everything I watch Star Wars. Let me see a starship battle. Like I said, let me see a shootout.
Watch Star Trek then if you want to see starships battle.
And they lucky that Grogu is a baby and don't really like know what's going on.
Yes,
because
I already know we're not gonna get him like I want him.
Yeah, because he
at least use the Force. At least use the Force to like defend yourself.
I'm gonna say this.
Don't be the person we gotta save every episode.
I'm gonna say this. Out of what we've been seeing from Disney, if y'all feel like they ain't finna use Grogu to his full potential, y'all crazy as hell.
I don't
think they're gonna do it in Mandalorian.
Boy, get out of here. Look,
Mandalorian,
look at what they've been doing with Star Wars, man.
I don't think so.
All right.
Not in Mandalorian, they ain't.
Man, look, we done got.
He might move over to something else, and he might.
I'm gonna say this.
Ahsoka might go recruit him.
We might see him do something with Ahsoka.
I'm gonna say this. Star Wars ain't got a good enough track record for me to put my faith in them compared to the last couple things they put out.
Because this the last season of Mandalorian, ain't it? Or next season of the last season, ain't it?
This the last season of Mandalorian, right?
I think so.
Who been his co-star? Who been his co-star the whole series?
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with that.
But hold on. Then we get
yeah, but he ain't did shit the whole series.
Then we get Boba Fett.
He just been there.
Who show up in Boba Fett?
They needed him.
But what I'm saying is, okay, let's take it a step further.
But Mandalorian also showed up.
Let's take it a step further. We just got Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Another show about the Force, right? Mm-hmm. How did that play out for people?
What?
The majority of the censors did not like it.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the Force, though.
What I'm saying is I just said Disney don't have a good enough track record with me right now for me to put my faith in them. That's what I said.
But you the same person that didn't like.
You didn't like what's the name either?
What?
Then it had no Force shit in it.
What?
What's the show called? Andor.
Yeah.
Who said I didn't like Andor?
You.
I said it wasn't as good. I just didn't dislike it.
That's a dislike. I mean,
it wasn't no Force.
It wasn't the thing is,
none at all.
Andor didn't have as much action as I wanted it. I told you what my issue was with that. It didn't have enough action with it.
Andor.
Yeah, that shit was flop.
Prime example.
But I think people liked. I think the consensus liked that.
Mandalorian Chapter 17 was a damn good episode to me. It had the right amount of everything in it that I needed. Now, when they go changing up the formula, making it a Jedi show, I mean, it could be good.
He can do shit and it not be a Jedi show. It's not going to be the Grogu show because he used the Force on a couple fucking robots or something.
All right.
Like you can't have him. Don't have him there and not use him, bro. Because he can help Mando out sometimes too. Instead of always being the damsel in distress.
Right.
Like.
But you're also having this conversation with a person that just said, I wish he'd have stayed with Luke. I didn't want him back with Mando.
He didn't, though. So, I mean,
okay, so
what we got.
Now, okay, so if he's showing up if he's saving the day using the Force, I'm not that excited about it.
He ain't even necessarily got to save the day. Just do something.
So you didn't necessarily
don't run and hide in the fucking orb. Like,
so you didn't necessarily like that the first 2 seasons was about him having to drop off Baby Yoda, pretty much. You would have rather it been about...
No, I'm going to say this. I figured after the second season when he dropped him off, we could move on to something else.
Yeah. But it seemed like they have moved on to something else.
All right.
It ain't about. It don't seem like the story is about.
All I'm saying
is revolving around Baby Yoda.
All
anymore.
I'm saying is
it's not here a burden right now.
We have
it's enough to feed.
We have enough Force Wielder shows coming out. We have enough. I don't need to see it in Mandalorian. The Mandalorian got such a rich history in the story itself. They don't need the Jedi or the Sith, but yet we're getting it.
See, the funny thing is, I think Mandalorian.
He's saying we getting it. I still don't know what he watching.
That's why I'm like, I think Mandalorian has a good balance of the Force and non-Force.
We don't barely get any of it.
Exactly, barely get any of it. Except from the people that you should get it from.
Especially, like you said, at the training with Luke, you should be able
What
to
was the first 2 episodes about? I mean, the first 2 seasons.
The first season was about him having to drop off the package.
And what was the package?
Baby Yoda.
What was the second season about?
Was about... because the first season that he had to drop, then he ended up having to drop.
First and second season was about Grogu.
Yeah,
a Force wielder.
Yeah,
when he popped up on the screen, when they opened that little cockpit thing and we seen who he was, we already knew. Oh, okay, he got to be a Force wielder. That's the Force has been in the first 2.
But he ain't used the Force until the last episode.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm missing my point.
No,
it's not about what he do.
It is for me. It's what I'm saying.
And I'm not arguing that with you.
So what's your argument?
You argue with me, telling me I'm wrong.
I ain't told you was wrong about shit.
Because
I told you what I wanted.
And I said I don't want to see that in the Mandalorian show. I don't want.
I never said you was wrong for saying that.
I don't want a Mandalorian show.
I just said if you're gonna have Grogu on there, might as well use him.
I don't want a Mandalorian show revolving around the Force. I don't want it.
We're not gonna get that.
We've got it in the last.
No, we did not. Okay. That wasn't revolved around the Force.
Okay. If that wasn't, I don't know what it was.
It wasn't.
So what was it about?
It was about Grogu getting
exactly. I wouldn't say
you take what's his name? Mando was supposed to complete a mission. It was about a bounty hunter completing this mission.
Exactly, because like you said, in the first season, he didn't use the Force.
Nah, I'm not finna let y'all do it.
Yeah, he used the Force and passed out for 3 days, 4 days.
But he didn't use the Force until the last episode of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say it revolved around the Force just because he was in the episode.
All right.
Well, I mean, just because he was in the season.
Why was he special?
Well, I mean, they didn't know why he was special.
They
did. If you go back and watch, you go back and watch the first season, they didn't know.
They don't know why he's special.
No, they didn't.
I'm talking about myself as the audience.
Oh, I mean, with the audience.
That's why. I mean, they probably don't care Grogu with her. They probably don't care Grogu's there for plot armor. I do. That's what I'm saying. The fact is we're not gonna sit here and make it seem like the first 2 seasons.
I don't think.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The first 2 seasons was about Mando completing a mission with Grogu. Mm-hmm. What he had to do with him. First, he wanted to drop him off. He was getting paid to drop him off. Then he changed his mind. Then he had to get him the loot. Mm-hmm. Through this whole thing, we've been centered around Grogu, a Force-sensitive child or whatever you want to call him. Yeah. We're still talking about the Force in The Mandalorian, which was fine.
But I mean, we're not now.
Hold on. Which was fine. I wasn't complaining. He dropped him off at the end of the second season. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
He went and got him in Boba Fett. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm not making a big deal about it, right?
Yeah.
And here it is again.
It's just crazy. You never said none of this on none of the other reviews.
Because 2 seasons ago, it was okay. But what I'm saying is...
4th season. You ain't said it on the 3rd season.
We're on the 3rd season.
This is the 3rd?
But my only... Yeah, this is the 3rd
Hold on, let me
season.
finish my point. We got 2 seasons of Grogu. Why would I want a 3rd one?
But my thing is, this season don't look or seem like it's... The only thing we got from Grogu in this episode was him picking up candy.
See, that's the thing.
Kill him off then. Fuck kill him off.
I'm not asking.
But that's what I'm saying. You just don't want him in the episode, period. My whole thing is, you started off this review by saying that you liked that he only played the background.
Right.
That he was in the background. He didn't do nothing.
And my point is I don't... What did I say I like?
He didn't do nothing.
He was in the
didn't do
background,
nothing.
right? He wasn't the focal point of this episode, right?
Yeah. I mean, but we know this season not gonna have nothing to do with him.
And that's what I said. I hope it stays that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I mean,
I don't want another season of us talking about the Force.
Yeah, well I mean, we already know what this season gonna be about.
And this is Star Wars review. And this is why the argument keeps starting.
You're not gonna get me on no Star Wars review not talking about the Force.
This is how we got into the debate.
No, we got into the debate because you said you didn't want it to be centered around the Force, and I never once said that.
Ain't that what I just said?
I never once, but nobody ever said that. You just assumed we said that.
I'm going off what you said.
No, I said I want to see Grogu be more utilized than just being a damsel in distress.
And I said that goes against this episode we just got, where he was in the background, not playing a big part of the background.
But did he have to be saved this background? Did he have to be saved this episode? Okay. He had to be saved, but most of the time...
I think you can have both. I think you can have both of those.
Yeah.
I think that Grogu can be able to defend himself because, I mean...
And that's all I was saying. I want to see him defend himself. We all know that
this season going to be about the Mandalore and the Mandalorian war and the war between them. We all know that. He can still... I mean, I ain't saying that he can still help out, but they can still show him doing something in that and it not revolve around the whole season, not revolve around him trying to get somewhere, him trying to learn something, him trying to use the power. It can still be both.
And this is where I made the comment and I said, I don't have that much confidence in Disney to pull that off. We keep talking in circles. Maybe y'all not listening to me.
No, we ain't talking in circles.
That's why everything you just said, I heard that. And I said, I don't think Disney has. I don't have the confidence that they will pull it off.
Favreau.
Huh?
I got the faith in Jon Favreau.
I mean,
because we ain't really seen him do shit.
Man, look, all I'm saying is
because I would have thought they probably would have been did that.
All I'm saying is as much Star Wars as we've been getting, it ain't been that good. You have one or two things that's good.
Yeah, one thing that wasn't good to me.
All right. You got one or two things that's good. You know what I'm saying? If we go, that's your opinion. My opinion, the only thing
that's all I be ever talking about.
My opinion, the only thing that's been good has been The Mandalorian. But I don't have that much faith in Disney.
See,
to pull it off.
That's crazy. You say the only thing that has been good
he
is
talked
the
the
Mandalorian.
Tales of the Jedi up.
You said that the only thing that has been
now
good
he don't
is
like
the
Tales of the
Mandalorian. But you also just said
I'm talking about everything.
But you also just said that the Mandalorian has revolved around the Force this entire time.
And I said I was okay with the first two seasons. When he dropped...
But what if the third season was the same thing, but it's still good?
It goes back to what I just said. I don't have enough faith in Disney to pull it off.
But I'm asking you now, but what if it is like the first two seasons, but it's still good?
Then we back where we started. We
with
back
with a good Mandalorian.
But the fact is, we cannot have Star Wars without the Force then, right?
If you asking me.
And I don't see him going too far with that.
No.
See, I don't see how you can say that and also say that you like every season of The Mandalorian.
Who?
All right.
I thought you talking about me.
I liked every season of The Mandalorian, right? I did not like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, but that's because that was a bad show. That was bad writing.
I disagree with that.
But here's the thing.
It was a lot of elements to not like about that show. It wasn't that,
for y'all.
It wasn't because of the Force, or it wasn't because they delved deeper into Vader or into the Force. Well, it was a combination of a lot of that stuff.
I got more dislikes with that show likes with the dislikes with that show. So,
my original point stands. I don't have enough confidence in Disney up until this point to stick to what we got this episode. That's my point. This episode was good. I enjoyed it. I hope it continues. You know what I'm saying? If it continues, that's great. If it don't, I'm not surprised.
But will you like it?
Depends. Because I didn't think we can go wrong with Boba Fett. You couldn't. Before I watched Boba Fett, if you told me it was bad, I'd have been like, nah, you on some bull jive. After watching Boba Fett, I said, yeah, they blew it. And granted, the only good thing about that was the Force. So again,
I think you gotta have most.
They should have had Jon Favreau do this shit.
I think you gotta have more faith in a show that you already like.
man, the thing is, we keep saying who they should have do this and who they should have do that. You're probably right.
But that's the only thing I really. That's the lowest thing I think that it did. Everything else I think been dope to me.
You're probably right. We should have them do this. About the trilogy. But we know they can't do everything, and the fact that they can't do everything, and then Star Wars tried to do so much, it just it ruins it.
What you mean so much?
Star Wars been trying to do
because you just said you weren't even thinking about the animation. So let's take the animation out of this.
Right. You got
they ain't did shit.
You got 3 seasons. Well, you got 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. You got at least 5 movies. You got
what movies?
You got the trilogy. You got Solo, and you got Rogue One. You got like I said, 2 seasons of Mandalorian. You got Boba Fett. You got Obi-Wan Kenobi that dropped. You got Ahsoka that's getting ready to drop. They I think they scrapped Rogue Squadron. We got the Acolyte getting ready to drop. It's a lot of Star Wars coming out. And with all that being said,
another year.
Yeah, got a minute for Acolyte.
But the fact is, it's all been in development now. My point is how much of that do you think Jon Favreau doing, or have done? Dave Filoni, for that matter.
I know he's done Mandalorian. I know he's been the showrunner of Mandalorian, and I know that I've loved the first 2 seasons of it. Whether it be about the Mandalorian delivering a Jedi or delivering a Force wielder, or whether you consider the show being revolving around the Force user just because he's in the show, it's still been a good show to me. And the reason that these other shows weren't good is because they weren't good shows. It's not they weren't good because of what they were based around. We knew what Obi-Wan was going to be based around when they announced that it was going to be an Obi-Wan show. We knew what it was going to be based around. We know what Ahsoka going to be based around. We know what these shows are already going to be based around. So it ain't no point in going into them surprised
and my point is, they develop shows that aren't good, but because they feel like they throw the Force in there, it's going to be straight. People gonna enjoy it.
I don't think that.
I don't think that
because I don't think they've done that with Mandalorian, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair for you to say about Mandalorian, especially in the Mandalorian review, especially when you like the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I did,
and like this episode.
All right, I said I'm talking about. I hope they pull it off, but I don't think they need to shove the Force into everything.
I ain't gonna judge it as a whole. I already know Mandalorian finna be good. We've already got 2 proven seasons of that, so I got faith in this season. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, Mandalorian gonna have to show me that it's bad. That it's gonna have to all right, y'all getting bad now. But and you bring up Boba Fett, that was just terrible. It was just a terrible show up until Mandalorian in the Force came into it. At least they brought something. Everything else is just boring. But hey, we're gonna see what Ahsoka is like. We're gonna see. We assuming that Acolyte's gonna be good. But hey, we'll see.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can do is hope. Is that this shit's good. The only reason that I got faith in Mandalorian is because the first 2 seasons have been good. And I know that I got faith in Ahsoka because I know that Jon Favreau has been running that show the same way he's been running this.
What show?
Mandalorian.
What? Hold on, what you just say? Oh, he doing Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I ain't worried about that either. For real.
So I'm not really. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out, how the story turn out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we in for a good season of for a show that had the tiniest bit of force in it. We talked about the force for the longest. But that's been Views of a Flick.
Star Wars, baby.
Yeah.
Man, it ain't what it used to be.
Episode 1 of Mandalorian. It's not fair to say on the Mandalorian review. This the best thing in Star Wars.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm not shitting on the Mandalorian. This was an excellent episode. It had everything I need. Gave me a little bit of the force. And
I say
everything
live
else was
action is the best, probably.
You say what?
Live action, yeah, it probably is the best.
I'm not even talking about animated
Yeah,
because
the
the Clone
animated
Wars
shit way
better than all
everything
this.
we've been getting.
Like if we gonna talk about that, it's
I like
not
all the animation.
that's not fair because the Clone Wars is better than everything they put out live action. So I wasn't even bringing that in. That wasn't even fair to bring that up.
Yeah. It all go together, so storylines.
No, not really. Timing. Timing. The thing is,
gonna get into this.
the thing is,
That ain't what I was saying. I'm saying they all the story run with all everything. Like that's why I compared it because we ain't got no Clone Wars live action, but that shit happened in Mandalorian. Shit happened
right. But I'm saying the timing of Clone Wars is what makes it kind of. I ain't gonna say it's what makes it good because it is good, regardless of what time it is. Mm-hmm. But the time and the place the Clone Wars sit in is it's basically the height that Star Wars can be in. Everything else that we're getting, it's not the same.
You saying Clone Wars the peak?
About a show, the whole.
You saying Clone Wars the peak?
The whole show revolved around the Force.
Yeah, but is you saying Star Wars the peak of everything? I mean, Clone Wars the peak of everything.
That time.
I'm just talking about overall. I ain't talking about no time frame. I was just saying everything we got. Just comparing everything we got. The animation been fire on all levels to me.
Yeah, I mean. I was just going off the time. Just like with Tales of a Jedi, it was within the time period I'm talking about.
Well, that's been Views of a Flick. I'm Will.I.am Defoe, a.k.a. Big Willie Style. That's it.
What's happening?
That's Rahn Roby.
You already know me.
And that's been our Views of Mandalorian, Episode 1, Chapter 17, the apostate. Yeah. I guess hopefully we don't have too much forcing in the rest of the show. Hopefully. But gonna see y'all next time. Peace.